Looks like you need a vacation. Enter the 5-Hour Energy Where Will the Tide Take You sweepstakes. You could win a $10,000 dream beach vacation. Imagine jet setting off to a tropical paradise, having fun in the sun, or diving at a gorgeous reef. It's up to you. No purchase necessary. Go to 5HETide.com for official rules and to enter. That's 5HETide.com. Enter today. Ends June 30th, 2024.
Public service announcement, Dog Pound, what's up? It's your new quarterback, Jameis Winston, coming here to help lead and support and help get us some victories. All right, you know we're here, we're live and local. We know you love us. I can't wait to see you soon. I can't wait to really get in this building, get to work with Deshaun, get to work with David. Like, it's going to be unbelievable. Thank you for the support always. I look forward to meet all y'all soon. Training camp 2024 coming real soon. Thank you.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to a quick microcast of the Dogs Podcast. Josh All alone with you guys here on a quick video, quick little microcast episode. Like I said, just want to talk about the free agent signing that just popped up, just came across my phone notifications, and I was sitting at my computer working on another podcast, so I figure, hey, perfect spot, perfect time. Let's go ahead and talk about D'Onta Foreman, the new running back just signed by the Cleveland Browns. So we'll dive into some talk about D'Onta Foreman. It doesn't have to be super long. Just want to help everybody understand who this guy is, where he came from, where he's been, what he's done, all that kind of stuff. Because if you don't play fantasy football, if you haven't followed along, you might not be as familiar with his name as people like I am, just because I see his name all the time, talking fantasy and stuff over the last few years. So for everybody else who's not real up to speed with D'Onta Foreman, and even if you are, this will be informational for everybody. But I want to talk about this real quick. And before I do, remember, like, subscribe on YouTube. We just hit 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, all right. Clap it up, everybody. You guys are the best audience ever. So I tell you that all the time, and the numbers show it. And now we're on our way to 10. So if you haven't subscribed and you're watching, you're like, hey, this content's not bad, subscribe. Please just do us a little favor there, and we will be on the road to 10,000 subscribers. All right, so let's talk about D'Onta Foreman. So first of all, let's just talk about the age of D'Onta Foreman. He is 27 years old. He's going to turn 28 at the end of April. So if you've watched recent episodes, I've mentioned Ezekiel Elliott as a name. Obviously, I'm a former Buckeye. You can see the Buckeye helmet sitting here behind me. I love me some Buckeyes. I love me some Zeke Elliott. And the whole thought process behind Zeke Elliott, it was not, oh, he's a Buckeye, I want him. No. What I wanted with Ezekiel Elliott, or a player like him, is a guy that I know, based on past history, based on just this past season, can come in, shoulder the load for an NFL offense, for a running attack, take on some, heavy carries if necessary, and perform and produce when needed. He's not going to be your bell cow back that's going to go out there and be a superstar Pro Bowler type of player. That's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for somebody to shoulder the load until Nick Chubb gets better. And what this signing tells me about Nick Chubb, well, actually, we'll get to that at the end. But what I want to talk about is D'Onta Foreman is going to fill the role that I've been asking the Browns to get a guy like Zeke Elliott, is what I keep saying. Well, D'Onta Foreman for the Browns, this move is like getting Zeke Elliott. So he's 6 foot, 235 pounds. This is not a small running back. This is a very well-sized, big bruising running back, okay? Played college football at Texas, and this was a little while ago. Like I said, he's older, came into the league not recently, but 2014, 2015, 2016 at Texas. 14 and 15, his first couple years were okay. I mean, his first year, he didn't really do anything. He wasn't playing. Second year was not horrible, nothing, fantastic. But 2016, he went out and played in 11 games, took on 323 carries, and put up 2,028 yards with 15 touchdowns. The guy was a monster that last year at Texas. And if you hear anybody else talk about D'Onta Foreman, or have you ever heard they mention his Texas days? Well, it was that year. It was that year with the 2,028 yards that he just absolutely exploded down there in Texas for the Longhorns. That explosion in 2016 got him selected in the 3rd round in 2017 NFL draft by none other than the Houston Texans. Of course, here we go with another Houston Texans link to the Cleveland Browns. But the thing with Foreman, this dude's been on a lot of different teams, and we'll go through those. But 3rd round pick by the Texans in 2017. And then it looks like here, I remember there was an injury. That's what happens with a lot of these running backs where you see some college production, they come in the league and you don't hear much from them. There was an injury week 11 of his rookie season. Let's see, this says he had 10 carries, 65 yards, and his first 2 career NFL touchdowns, including a 34-yard touchdown run. But it was that 34-yard touchdown run where Foreman suffered a, unfortunately, non-contact injury at the 2-yard line. He fell into the end zone and started grabbing his leg, and that's where it was found he tore his Achilles. He was ruled out for the rest of the season, placed on IR. And as we've seen, I've detailed this before on the show, Achilles injuries with skill position players, namely running backs and wide receivers, is like a death sentence. It really is. You do not see many guys. Actually, I don't think we've seen any guys successfully come back from an Achilles injury at the running back or wide receiver position. Drop it in the comments if I'm missing somebody, if there's an example. I know you might say James Robinson. No. You might say Cam Akers. No. Neither of those guys came back to be anything close to what they were doing before their injuries, and now they're essentially done in the NFL real quick afterwards. So the fact that D'Onta Foreman, after tearing his Achilles in 2017, we're sitting here in 2024, 7 years later, talking about him, that's a testament to his recovery from this injury. Spent the majority of his second season with the Texans on the PUP, physically unable to perform list, not out there on the field while he was still recovering from that Achilles. So this one really hurt him. He ended up getting cut the following offseason by the Texans. The Indianapolis Colts picked him up. Then he was placed again on injured reserve in 2019 with a torn bicep. Then he got cut by the Colts. And then he got signed by the Titans onto their practice squad, got brought up, and then sent back down. And that was kind of the story of that year with the Titans. Practice squad, active roster, just kind of backing up Derrick Henry. Nothing too crazy to talk about there. Then he played. Then it looks like over the course of 1 month in 2021, he got signed by the Falcons and then released and then re-signed to the practice squad. And then he was released a couple days after that. So not a very long stint with the Falcons. Went back to the Titans for a second stint. Then he played for the Panthers. And that's where I feel like D'Onta Foreman finally got some of his career back, was in Carolina back in 2022. That year in Carolina was a career year for him. He had 203 carries. First of all, he played in 17 games. That's the number that stood out, popped off the page for me when I was looking at stats for D'Onta Foreman. You know, it was injury, cut, released, all this stuff from these other teams. Boom. Carolina Panthers, 17 games, takes on 203 carries, 914 yards, 5 touchdowns, averaged 4.5 yards a carry. And I doubt he had much 5 catches for 26 yards. He's not a receiving back. He's a big bruising back. He's going to take over probably for the Browns what Kareem Hunt was doing, would be my guess, because we don't have anybody in that role right now, and that's what I was hoping Zeke would do. Only what I wanted a player like Zeke to be able to come in and do was take on more of the first and second down work away from Jerome Ford, and I think D'Onta Foreman can probably do some of that until Nick Chubb gets back from his injury. So that was 2022 in Carolina. A good year, best year ever for D'Onta Foreman at 26 years old last year. 2023 was when he played for Chicago. Played in 9 games, and unless I'm missing something out of my memory or from what I'm reading here, he was not injured last year. There was no injury in 2023. He was a healthy scratch. Remember, the Bears had their rotation of Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson, and then those guys would have injuries of their own. Herbert was on IR for a while, so D'Onta Foreman was taking main reps. Either way, over those 9 games, he ended up with 109 carries, 425 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and he caught 11 catches for 77 yards and another score. This episode is brought to you by Aura. Browns fans, if you're like me, you've reached a point where so much of your daily life resides online. Think about it. Your emails, banking, utility bills, even things like online gaming and streaming. These things all create so many open avenues that put your private information at risk. Data brokers collect your information without you knowing, and they sell it to scammers, spammers, and anyone else who may want to target you. And that's why I started using Aura to protect my information and my identity online. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests for me. And right now, Dogs Podcast listeners, you guys can all get a 14-day free trial at Aura, aura.com/dogs, DAWGS. Make sure you go to that link on your desktop or your laptop computer. And once you set up your free trial, then you can download the app and sign in to also get protection on your phone. It's a great no-commitment way to at least see how much of your information is being sold. In the first 5 minutes of starting my account, Aura identified 16 data brokers that are using my information, and it removed me from all of them. Guys, I had no idea that was even happening. I figured, I'm pretty tech savvy, I'm cautious online, but there is just way too much money to be made selling your information for these brokers not to find a way. Aura provides so many features that, honestly, guys, we should all be using in today's digital age. Antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and it's all in one app right on your phone or your computer or both. Aura works 24/7 nonstop to keep you protected. Don't let these data brokers sell your personal information to any more scammers or spammers. Head to aura.com, aura.com/dogs to start your 14-day free trial. Give it a test run, see how many brokers have your information, and even if you don't want to continue after the trial, at least you have an idea how much of your data is being sold. Again, just try the 14-day free trial. I wouldn't recommend this if I didn't think it was worth your time. I value my privacy, and I value all of yours too. Take control of your data today at aura.com/dogs. D'Onta Foreman is not coming in here to be a workhorse back. He's not coming in here to be the lead feature back, but he is coming in here to provide some pretty solid veteran depth. I wouldn't be surprised to see games, and I'm talking when Nick Chubb gets healthy down the road, but games where maybe Foreman's not even active, kind of like they did with Chicago last year. We will see how this turns out, how this goes. But what this says about Nick Chubb's recovery timeline just confirms what we've talked about on the show for months now, is that if you're still out there lying to yourself, and yes, you are lying to yourself if you're saying, don't talk bad about Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb will be 100% healthy, 100% back to elite level Nick Chubb come week 1. End of story. I won't hear a word against it. Okay, well, you can take your delusion self and go wherever delusion people go, because while we know what Nick Chubb is capable of, and while we know he's working his ass off to get back from his, what we all thought was a career-ending knee injury attacked by Minkah Fitzpatrick last year, Nick Chubb will not be ready week 1. If he's ready to play, he's not going to be on the field very much. I do not see the Browns putting Nick Chubb back into high-level action. Man, I don't even know if it'll be in the first half of the season, guys. We have got to start being a little more cautious with our hope for what Nick Chubb can be in 2024, and just hope that we see him back on the field at a good capacity at some point. And that is a far cry from him being ready to go week 1. Week 1, I do expect him to start the season on PUP. You're probably going to see reports of him at camps and throughout the preseason in the summer and things like that. It might look like Nick Chubb's able to run. He's making cuts on the field and practice and things like that, but he's not going to probably be doing much contact, if any. And we've seen players before where they go through an injury, a season-ending injury, they recover, they get some work in the preseason, not necessarily in a game, but during the summer activities, your training camps, all that kind of stuff. And then the team puts them on PUP to start the season because they're not ready to play full contact in a game. And I believe that's what's going to end up happening with Nick Chubb. And if that's the case, it'll be probably at least 4 to 6 weeks until we see him on the field in a game. And that's why the Browns have already made a priority to diversify their running back room. It's very hard to find a running back that you can rely on to do all the things well. Christian McCaffrey is just one dude, and very few teams have a workhorse bell cow type of running back. Most teams nowadays are deploying running back by committee, and that's what you're going to see with Cleveland for at least probably the first half of the season, really. Probably the whole season, to be honest with you guys, even when Nick Chubb does come back, because they're not going to give him 100% of his normal workload in 24. I'd be surprised. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying at this point in time, I would be surprised. So you're looking at, until Chubb gets back, it's going to be a rotation of Jerome Ford, D'Onta Foreman, Nyheim Hines, and I don't know about Pierre Strong. He might not end up making it through camp. I'm not really sure what the Browns are planning on doing with him. And we might draft a guy. But the nice thing, and this is what I've been saying for the last week and a half since free agency opened, Andrew Berry has gone out and added adequate, capable players on good, I hate saying the word cheap, but cheaper contracts at all the positions where we needed to fill some bodies, some players. We needed some people in those spots. And running back was really the one. I know they got Nyheim Hines, but he was not going to take on any sort of workload that was going to be significant, I guess would be a good way to put it. And all the moves that Andrew Berry has made showed that they're gearing up for the draft to take BPA, best player available at every spot, because they don't want to be pigeonholed into saying, well, we didn't get anybody in free agency at linebacker, and we don't really have a middle linebacker now, so we have to take one in the second round, even though there's really not a guy here we like. They're not doing that with any position. Running back was the only one left where they hadn't really addressed it yet, even though, like I said, they got Nyheim Hines, but that wasn't, to me, really addressing the situation. And now signing Foreman, to me, is, okay, they've addressed the situation. So frees them up to grab a running back wherever they want, wherever they feel, hey, the best player on the board right now, the best value that's going to fit our team that we can draft in this spot, wherever it is this running back? Boom, now they got him. So the Browns have done a great job, Andrew Berry. There's so many haters out there who, hey, miserable people are just going to be miserable no matter what. So we can't help everybody, but we can help you, and we can help ourselves to an enjoyable Browns offseason. We can relish in the fact that we have a front office who knows what they're doing and executes calculated moves in a very, very good way. And just very excited for 2024. And that's pretty much all I got to say about D'Onta Foreman. Not, like I said, not a huge signing, not something that's going to come in here and be a total game changer for the offense, but I think could be a very, very nice addition as we wait for Nick Chubb to get back on the field. So let me know what you guys think. We'll see if there's any more information coming out about D'Onta Foreman after the signing. Like I said, I jumped on here and did this video real quick after he was signed. So we'll see if there's more details that come out, more information, anything being speculated about. We'll talk about it all at some point. And until I get back with you guys again, I hope you're all having a great week. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're listening on audio. You guys on Apple Podcasts are doing me solids. You guys are leaving reviews. I love it. Please drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Scroll down to the bottom of our homepage on there and just tap 5 stars and leave us a quick comment in the comment section, and that really helps our ratings, our rankings on Apple Podcasts, and get us in front of more Browns fans like you guys. So until I talk to you guys again, let's go Browns.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.